friends of class 10th ABC. We are again highlighting the main points of the 100 dresses with complete summary and explanation of part 2. Important points which I shall be giving you are the highlighting of the main points. First, Ms. Mason reads out to the class a letter of Mr. Petronsky, who is Wanda's father. Mr. Petronsky writes that they are moving to another city where people won't make fun of Wanda because she had a funny name. So what happens? All are shocked and they all feel really sorry after listening to the letter. Maddie is very upset. She regrets to have sided with Peggy making fun of Wanda. She decides not to stand anybody's making fun of another and would raise her voice against that. Peggy and Maddie write a letter to Wanda telling that she has won the drawing competition. But Wanda don't reply for a long time. She doesn't reply. Wanda finally writes to Miss Mason to give her drawings to the girls as she had the new ones at her home. Wanda also writes that she misses her school and her teacher. She wants that her green dress drawing and the blue dress drawing should be given to Maddie and Peggy respectively. Maddie sees her face in the drawing. She rushes to Peggy's house, to tell her this. Peggy finds her face reflected in a green dress drawing. Maddie cries for her behavior and decides not to stand anybody is making fun of one another in future. She would always raise her voice against that even if Peggy, her closest friend, was nearby. And Peggy consoles her that Wanda likes them.
While the class was circling the room, the monitor from the principal's office brought Miss Mason a note.
Mom, here is a note, is given by principal. Attention, students. I have a letter from Wanda's father that I want to read.
Dear teacher, my Wanda will not come to your school anymore. Jake also. Now we move away to big city. No more Holler Pollock. No more Ask Why Funny Name. Plenty of funny names in the big city. Yours truly, Jan Petronsky. A deep silence met the reading of this letter.
I'm sure that none of the boys and girls in room 13 would purposely and deliberately hurt anyone's feelings, because his or her name happened to be a long, unfamiliar one. I prefer to think that what was said in thoughtlessness. I know that all of you feel the way I do, that this is a very unfortunate thing to have happened, unfortunate and sad, both. And I want you all to think about it.
Maddie tried to prepare her lessons, but she could not put her mind on her work. She had a very sick feeling in the bottom of her stomach. True, she had not enjoyed listening to Peggy ask Wanda how many dresses she had in her closet, but she had said nothing. She had stood by silently, and that was just as bad as what Peggy had done. Worse. She was a coward. At least Peggy hadn't considered they were being mean, but she, Maddie, had thought they were doing wrong. She could put herself in Wanda's shoes. Goodness! Wasn't there anything she could do? If only she could tell Wanda she hadn't meant to hurt her feelings. She turned around and stole a glance at Peggy, but Peggy did not look up. She seemed to be studying hard. She had to find Wanda Petronsky. Maybe Peggy would climb the heights with her, and they would tell Wanda she had won the contest. that they thought she was smart and the 100 dresses were beautiful. When school was dismissed in the afternoon,
Hey, let's go and see if that kid has left town or not.
the two girls hurried out of the building, up the street toward Bogans Heights.
I never did call her a foreigner or make fun of her name. I never thought she had the sense to know we were making fun of her anyway. I thought she was too dumb. And gee, look how she can draw.
Maddie could say nothing. All she hoped was that they would find Wanda. She wanted to tell her not to move away and everybody would be nice. She and Peggy would fight anybody who was not nice.
I think that's where the Petronskis live.
Peggy knocked firmly on the door, but there was no answer. She and Maddie went around to the backyard and knocked there. Still there was no answer. There was no doubt about it. The Petronskis were gone. How could they ever make amends? They turned slowly and made their way back down the hill.
Well, anyway, she's gone now, so what can we do?
But that night she could not get to sleep. She thought about Wanda and her faded blue dress and the little house she had lived in. And she thought of the glowing picture those 100 dresses made, all lined up in the classroom. At last Maddie sat up in bed and pressed her forehead tight in her hands and really thought. This was the hardest thinking she had ever done. After a long time, she reached an important conclusion. She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. On Saturday, Maddie spent the afternoon with Peggy. They were writing a letter to Wanda Petronsky. It was just a friendly letter telling about the contest and telling Wanda she had won. They told her how pretty her drawings were. And they asked her if she liked where she was living and if she liked her new teacher. They had meant to say they were sorry, but it ended up with their just writing a friendly letter. Days passed and there was no answer, but the letter did not come back. Peggy had begun to forget the whole business. Maddie put herself to sleep at night making speeches about Wanda, defending her from great crowds of girls who were trying to tease her with, "How many dresses have you got?" Now it was Christmas time, and there was snow on the ground. Christmas bells and a small tree decorated the classroom. On the last day of school before the holidays, the teacher showed the class a letter she had received that morning.
You remember Wanda Petronsky, the gifted little artist who won the drawing contest? Well, she has written me, and I am glad to know where she lives, because now I can send her medal. I want to read her letter to you. Dear Miss Mason, how are you in room 13? Please tell the girls they can keep those 100 dresses, because in my new house I have 100 new ones, all lined up in my closet. I'd like that girl Peggy to have the drawing of the green dress with the red trimming, and her friend Maddie to have the blue one. For Christmas, I miss that school and my new teacher does not equalize with you. Merry Christmas to you and everybody. Yours truly, Wanda Petronsky. This shows she really likes us. It shows she got our letter, and this is her way of saying that everything's all right. And that's that. I hope so.
She felt sad because she knew she would never see the little tight-lipped Polish girl again and couldn't ever really make things right between them. Maddie sat down on her bed and looked at the drawing. She had stood by and said nothing, but Wanda had been nice to her, anyway, and studied it intently. The colors in the dress were so vivid that she had scarcely noticed the face and head of the drawing. But it looked like her, Maddie. It really looked like her own mouth. Why, it really looked like her own self. Wanda had really drawn this for her. Excitedly, she ran over to Peggy's.
Peg, let me see your picture. What's the matter? Look, that's you.
The head and face of this picture did look like Peggy.
What did I say? She must have really liked us, anyway. Yes, she must have.
She blinked away the tears that came every time she thought of Wanda standing alone in that sunny spot in the schoolyard, looking stolidly over at the group of laughing girls after she had walked off.
Thank you for watching this video. If you like
So, my dear friends, from these, what we have learned from the lesson is that Maddie is actually an emotional girl. She is a close friend of Peggy. Okay. And she feels it bad that Peggy teases Wanda, who is of Polish origin and having a strange name. So Peggy's teasing Wanda gets heavy on her heart. She feels it very bad and decides to write a note to her. Though she tears it later, however, she decides to stand against anyone who teases another. This is because of her being an emotional girl. Maddie is very emotional girl. As compared to her, Peggy is a proud girl of American origin. She teases Wanda by asking how many dresses she has. And Wanda replies that she has 100 dresses. So when Peggy and Maddie write a letter to Wanda when they have gone, Wanda replies in a very polite manner. Peggy defends her teasing and paintings of Wanda, but she never regrets. However, Maddie determines to stand anyone insulting anyone like Peggy did to Wanda. And before we end up, we are displaying great character traits. So I'll tell you about the character traits. So Wanda Petronsky in her letter shows such a great character. It lifts her up in our eyes. She remains polite, peaceful, and friendly towards Peggy and Maddie despite of their teasing her. Her letter lifts her up in estimate. Really, she has great character traits. An ordinary person would spit poison on Peggy and Maddie as they display racist hatred. But Wanda, on the contrary, shows her polite, peaceful, and friendly traits. Only a few persons have such a character traits. They're just great and can command respect from peace-loving persons. Such traits are necessary for a tension-free life. There are persons in every society who enjoy racism and regionalism. But these are not good for civilization and human progress. So, by bearing out such traits as Wanda displays, one becomes godlike. फरिश्तों की तरह. We need to emulate such good qualities in our character. And this is all what I have to say for today. Is the moral of the story. We end up. Stay tuned, stay safe, maintain distance, wear masks. Okay, wash your hands again and again. So please do take care of yourself. Hope to meet you soon. Up till then, goodbye. and good luck. Please take care of yourself.